how Jerica slayed at making that intro is so good. Every time I see it, I'm like, it's so nice.
Video editor extraordinaire.
Yep.
That's me. I made it all like in Canva and iMovie, so don't try to hype me up. Just using the tools that are in front of me.
Yep.
Anyways, okay, I forgot how we do the intro to this show because this is not the standard show. It's like it's under the umbrella. It's still we share it everywhere that JKGames podcast goes live. So it's the same show, but it's a different show. So
Yeah, this is ClickerBait. So I honestly, the way that we normally intro the show, I feel like we're usually pretty chill about it. Hello, welcome to ClickerBait, another episode. You may be wondering why you're seeing our faces and The Last of Us Season 2 is not out. But I assure you we have a lot to talk about
we do.
today.
We have a few
Um,
bits of information to discuss.
yes, lots of Last of Us news. Um, CC in the chat said 6 months. Thank you for resubscribing and your first ClickerBait episode. Aw, how nice.
Well, CC is familiar with who we are, but someone else and that's listening might not know. Hi, I'm Jerica, one of your hosts here.
And I'm Kayla, your other host, and we're here to talk all about The Last of Us. We decided we rambled too much about The Last of Us on jkgames podcast, so we literally made a whole other podcast for this.
So we can have an excuse to let's just talk about The Last of Us the whole time. Whether it's the TV show or the video game. Now we will say this. If you're here, you probably love the video games. And you probably love the show too. But here it goes. We do talk about the game, so we might spoil things about the game, which in turn will spoil things about the show. So you've been warned here. This is probably, not the best place to start your Last of Us journey if you've never experienced it. But we will try to put a disclaimer out there. Hey, this is a big spoiler. Probably shouldn't listen to the next 2 minutes or however long we might go on about said spoilers.
At least 2 minutes.
Yes. But we'll try to remember and give that warning. But that might not happen. We're just throwing that out there. There could be a spoiler or two that comes out. Especially talking about our theories for season 2.
Yes, which we did a whole episode on our theories for season 2. But we have a little bit more information, including some casting info, which is very exciting. So we also had a whole episode about casting predictions. If you're curious before the reveal, if you don't already know, if you haven't seen, if you're curious, some of the other people that we thought would be good, which Jerka got one right, which is so cool.
I did, but it was only because it was fresh on my mind from another show, and I was like, he'll be good in this.
It still counts.
He could do this.
It counts. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about that. We're gonna be talking about some just little tidbits of news about filming and things like that. Some awards that they won for the show, which is really interesting. I'm glad Jerica put this in here. And then we're gonna do some first impressions on The Last of Us Part 2 remaster, which you may be wondering, what the heck? I thought, what are you talking about? New game? Yes. And I've had a journey. Let me just tell you, I have not replayed the game since I played it the first time it came out in 2020. It came out, is that right? So about 4 years, which is ew, that's so weird. This is our first episode of the year, also, by the way. So welcome into 2024. But so I had to re-download the game, and so I was trying to figure out. I felt like I had aged myself a million years. I was like, I don't know how to use the PlayStation Store. I don't know what I'm doing. And I was like, I could text Jerica for help, but I'm trying to be independent. I can figure it out myself. And so I was like, trying to figure out how to, because if you don't know, if you already own the physical copy or the digital copy, right, Jerica?
Yes.
You can pay just $10 to upgrade your Last of Us Part 2 game to The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, which includes some additional content, which is what we're going to cover today. CC said, which button is X?
Yes.
It also has been a while since I've played on PlayStation as well. So PC girly now.
She's been clickety clacking on the keyboard and mices.
That's so weird. I can't believe this happened to me. How could this happen to me?
Professional gamer.
I don't think so. All I'm thinking about right now is Pal World. Oh my gosh. Jerica.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
We will talk about Pal World on the next episode of JK Games. I'm sure in the future, there's going to be even more to discuss about it. So we'll keep that. I want to talk to you about it, but I'm going to hold off.
Yeah, it's gonna take a lot of. I'm gonna need a whole episode.
I'm gonna make elephant in the room, but you might have noticed I have moved locations. I have a new background and everything because I have taken over the dining room with my streaming setup. So everything, even though it's the same desk and mostly the same situation, getting the stream setup was a little bit of. I thought I had everything ready. I did not, but I have forgotten to put. I don't know why I put both the streaming software and Discord or whatever on the same monitor, which is on this one. So you might notice, like, why is Jerica constantly looking over here? Because I'm trying to look at Kayla and I don't have her in front of me. I don't, like usual. Usually I'll have Kayla in front of me so I can talk to Kayla, but all I have is the text from what we're reading about. And if I move you over here, it's going to mess up the stream. So I've been trying to look straight ahead, but I'm just looking at text and it's sort of boring because I can't see your face.
I could be doing whatever. I could just be.
I don't know because I don't want to be looking like this the whole time.
Yeah.
But this is where I see you.
Coming. Yes. You thought you were coming to see professionals. You thought wrong. I'm just kidding.
Dang. And I can't move this now. So if I occasionally look this way, it's because I'm tired of I want to see it. It's weird not talking to no one.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Especially if they're weird. Well, I guess it's not because we could pretend we're on a phone call.
Hello? But hey, whatever. That you see both of our faces. If she's looking to the side, they don't. Your side profile's great. It looks amazing.
Thank you.
Wow, look at that.
I have a very straight nose.
You have a very straight nose. Yeah, that's beautiful.
It's sort of weird. Looks like a triangle. It looks like one of those. I don't know. Animal Crossing characters,
Yeah. So today, do we want to start with all these crazy amount of award nominations that The Last of Us received at the Emmys? Because also Pedro and Bella looked phenomenal at this award show.
There was a few different award situations too, because
there was, yeah.
I guess, since the strike that happened last year, a lot of things I forgot got delayed, really, and I was like, oh, why are literally all the awards all happening at once? And I think that's not normal. I don't think so. No. I think because of the strikes,
it was
everything.
Golden Globes,
Emmys, and something else, a lot of stuff, a few things. So yeah, the outfits everyone wore, amazing, very cool.
Do you see Pedro's little sling he was in?
Yeah, I got a few deets about that in an article later.
Ooh.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah. Very exciting. Lots of good outfits. Lots of nominations. Lots of awards. They it looks like you said they were nominated for 24 different Emmys for season 1.
Yes, so that is 24 insane. Nominations. Second to Succession, 8 wins. And if you watch Succession, there was a lot of great shows last year in Succession. The final season I knew was going to be a big one and would take multiple awards. Also, The Bear, great show, won a lot of awards as well. So there was some tough competition last year with television. So we knew they Last of Us might not take all of them, but we got a few. Mm-hmm. We got a few here. We got 8 wins. So outstanding guest actor in a drama series, Nick Offerman as Bill.
Yes.
So
yes,
definitely worth it. See, our episode 3 was a whole show on its own. Amazing.
Still can't eat strawberries this day.
Outstanding guest actress in a drama series, pretty big win for her. Storm Reed as Riley.
Nice.
Very cool. I don't know if you've watched her acceptance speech, but you should.
Oh, I want to. I haven't.
It's super sweet, super endearing. She was crying, just didn't believe that she won. So it was really cool. She did a good job as Riley. And a lot of really cool awards Last of Us won for basically just like the operational part of making a TV show and like
Yeah.
the art and design. So they got outstanding prosthetic makeup, which
Oh,
I can
that's
agree with.
exciting.
I can agree with. There was a lot of prosthetic, amazing makeup in the show. All the fungus among us, you know. Outstanding special visual effects in a season or in a movie. And I would say the visual
Wow.
effects were also top tier. They left no stone unturned with this show in terms of effects. It all looks so real. Like, it's hard to believe that
Yeah.
they did a lot of this in front of green screens, a lot of after effects, like adding afterwards. Very
Mhm.
neat. Outstanding main title design.
Oh,
I didn't
man.
even know
It
that was a
deserves that.
category. You know,
I didn't either.
that's pretty cool.
That
Sort of
is
makes
really
that's
cool.
I mean that'd be a very niche thing to get into, but it would be something you could be really good at. And this is like I just do title design. Yeah.
Literally. That's all I do.
Outstanding sound mixing for a comedy or drama series. Outstanding sound editing for a drama or a comedy. Okay, oh, I guess that was copied twice, or did they win it twice? Can you win that more than once? I don't know.
I bet they did, yeah.
And then outstanding picture editing for a drama series.
Ooh, ah.
So they definitely recognize some talent. They also, well, all of it's from, talented people, but very cool. Like as far as like on the technical achievement, like the show got nominated and won a lot of things.
Yeah. And I honestly, as much as like I am watching it and really enjoying seeing it, I don't really think about the like how cool it is for all the people that worked so hard on it to be like recognized in this like aspect. It's
It
really cool.
was one of the most expensive shows, if not the most expensive HBO show. Let me see. What?
CC said, "I bet they made the main title in Canva. Nothing you can't do with
You're
Canva."
not wrong. I mean, look at this situation you're looking at right now. We should win an award. All made in Canva, you know? Like
Sponsored. Actually, not really. That'd be
what
cool.
is HBO's most expensive
Oh, Game of
show?
Thrones, probably by far. I would think. Right? Maybe.
Okay, here I found an article. Okay, let's start with I want to go to number 1.
Okay.
It's actually House of the Dragon. I guess it's still under that umbrella.
Yeah.
House of the Dragon, 20 million per episode to make.
Holy crap. That is insane. I love that show also. Like, I'm so excited for season 2.
Me too. I got announced. It's later this year, I believe.
Yeah. Let us know if you want more TV episodes, because we can definitely do
Also,
that.
the Pacific, 20 million per episode as well. Game of
Haven't seen that
Thrones,
one.
2011 through 2019, 15 mil per episode.
Wow.
Number 4, Band of Brothers, 2001, 12.5 million per episode. And then Last of Us, it takes the number 5 spot. So 10 million per
Nice.
episode. So it's up there.
Wow.
It's up there for being, not cheap to make, for sure.
No, not at all. That's really cool. I'm glad you looked that up. That's a good perspective. Top 5 for the most, and they do a lot of like, what you would see as high budget shows. Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, when are we getting this season 2, Jerica? When is it coming? When are we getting it? Because we've been speculating. We've been talking about it. What do we think? I know we got some things from some sources, but nothing official, right? Or do we have something semi-official?
I think HBO like came out and said that I think they said 2025
Okay.
was going to be the year that it comes out. There's been a few updates just surrounding season 2 production.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually pulled up an article here. But yeah, I think HBO was on Twitter or whatever and said 2025 was in this last was season 2 was one of the shows confirmed for next
Got
year.
it.
Which I can't remember last year when they started filming. I feel like it was during the summer. And
I think you're right.
like it came out like I was really surprised how quickly it did come out. Like I could be wrong. Maybe it was longer. It probably takes about a year for them to like film and edit and do it all. Like it's gonna be.
Yeah.
So I could see like spring next year. Hopefully.
Yeah, I think that they filmed in summer and then the season came out in January, right?
Yeah.
Like because it came out, wasn't it closer around your birthday, I think? Like towards the
Oh
beginning of the
yeah,
year.
it did. Let's see. When I'm gonna Google again. When?
Because I think that it would be really cool. I think it's very much like an atmospheric show. So I would love if season 2 came out in like fall, winter time. You know what I mean? As much as I don't want to wait till then, obviously, but I know that's what I remember that being the case for last time. Yeah.
Okay, so according to Google here, on April 2nd, 2021, the series started filming. Oh, wait, it was reported on that day. My bad. Started filming July 5th, 2021, and wrapped on June 8th, 2022.
Okay, so it took almost an entire year to film, and then it came out in
January.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
Okay. So
so that tracks.
Yeah.
And so we have a little bit of info about when they started filming through the article that you have. So that would kind of track for it to be like 2025-ish.
Beginning of next year.
Yes. Math is hard. I don't know.
I was gonna say, like, it definitely could see, like, it's definitely gonna be like February or March this time next year. I can see that being the case.
I can make it till then.
Yeah.
They're feeding us a little bit, just a little bit of crumbles.
And I feel like this second season's not gonna have as many zombies too. Or I'm sorry, not zombies. How dare I? Clickers.
Disgraceful.
Angry fungus people. I feel like I don't remember as many.
Yeah.
Playing the game.
Because
like they were there, but it was like a horde of them.
Not quite the main focus. You know what I mean?
So a lot more human interaction. Probably.
A lot.
So yeah, who knows? So maybe that helps with some of the production, less visual effects and prosthetics, but they might want to win another award, so maybe they will. Okay, I'm getting to the article here finally, unless you wanted to kick us off here. No, the first bit.
I mean, I can definitely. It says that the article you.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead. There's the right above that dot. I cited the person that wrote the article, just so you read that.
Oh, this is a tough one. Games Radar by Lauren Milisi.
You did it. Yeah, that's how I would have done it.
That's not all either. Joel himself, Pedro Pascal, confirmed that the filming kicks off in mid-February, speaking to Variety at 2024 Golden Globes. He shared the update when explaining a nasty injury he sustained falling over at his family home. Oh my gosh!
So Abby didn't try to kill him yet. I've been waiting to make that joke. Everybody was making that joke online, so
everybody was, which is like, it's topical for sure. So I'm glad he addressed it. You want to take this part?
Yeah. Because following that, they were, with this article, I'm reading from the article now. We're going to do our best to skip over the Last of Us Part 2 spoilers here, but suffice to say that season 2 of the show will feature a host of new characters, which is our main topic for today's show.
Woohoo!
Bella Ramsey has gone on the record stating that they are very excited for the Ellie and Dina story, a budding relationship between two Jackson residents. Speaking on the Happy Sad Confused podcast, Ramsey also explained that they are keen to explore the complexity of her relationship with Joel and how that gets decidedly more complex. I'm looking forward to that, and the violence that ensues is thrilling in a way.
Interesting. Really quick, don't mean to interrupt.
No.
But again, spoiler things. It's interesting that they put an emphasis on the complexity of the relationship with Joel, because that is important, but pretty quickly other things, like, this situation happens where he's no longer in it. So I'm wondering if they extend upon this beginning part. You know what I mean? Like, is that an Easter egg telling us, like, hey, we're going to dive more into the relationship in the beginning?
Let's do this, because I think this is I didn't really think about this episode too much. Sorry, this is what you get with our show sometimes. But I just had an idea, because we're going to talk about, our first impressions of playing the Last of Us Remastered.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest, I haven't played part 2 probably since it came out. Like, I have not played through it again. we'll get to this later, but I played the remake, but I haven't got to part 2. I stopped because I'm like, maybe they do something and make part 2 for the PS5, and then I'll want to replay it again. So I've been holding off for the remaster. Anyways, we'll get to that bit in a minute, but it's got me thinking about playing through it again. It's making me think what they could do on the show that can definitely flesh it out more.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a second. I'm going to pause. Okay. I'm going to put a pin in it and continue reading this bit of information. Okay. In The Last of Us Part 2 video game, there is a 5-year time jump. We shift from the climactic conclusion of The Last of Us Part 1 to find an older Joel and Ellie settled into life in Jackson. In a global press conference attended by Total Film co-creator Mazin stated that we're very careful about how we talk about Part 2. But The Last of Us Part 2 takes place multiple years after the story of the original game. We'll be looking to directly adapt Part 2. So you should expect the show to feature the time skip, even if other parts of the story are radically different from the game.
Ooh, interesting.
I wanted to add this little snippet that, from the man himself sharing that it seems the time jump and getting into the story, they're going to be following pretty closely. So I was hoping for some more, like, between the time they arrive in Jackson or come back to Jackson from the jump. Like, I wanted to see more of the in-between. But we might not get that. From what I'm reading here, it doesn't seem that we would get that. I don't know. What do you think?
I think yes, but also I think that the way that they word it is very careful, kind of like he says. Like they talk about it very carefully. I think that they could add in some like flashbacks, which we get some of that in the game. True. But I think they could maybe elaborate more on them. Like, we had the whole episode of Riley and Ellie.
True.
That took place kind of in the middle, you know what I mean? But it was a whole fleshed out, like more than we got before, just kind of placed strategically. So I think we could still get some more additional content, if you will, like that we don't get in the game. But it seems like the layout is going to stay the same from what he said here.
Yeah,
I think is what I'm reading.
Okay, I agree. I'm glad, I they're going to be able to do stuff with flashbacks. I think this is going to be a very flashback heavy season for a lot of reasons. Yeah. But yeah, like I feel like from the even when we started talking about like what do we want most from the show, I want them to stick close to the source material, but I am totally fine with them having 1 or 2 episodes. As long as it doesn't take away from them. Like, I don't want to lose Ellie's story for this 1 episode that maybe has nothing to do with what we're interested in seeing on screen.
Yeah.
But I could take a whole other episode dedicated to this flashback or dedicated to this situation that ties to the story as well, that maybe has been hinted at in the game. There's a lot of things that are hinted at in the game or even read about, and whether it's journal entries or pieces of newspaper or whatever you pick up off the ground, notes and stuff that you read about. So, and we got a little bit of that in season 1. So I definitely think if they break season 2 up into multiple seasons, we could definitely get more of that, which I look forward to it. Anyways, I digress. Next section. Though Ellie is 5 years older in The Last of Us Part 2, Bella Ramsey isn't going anywhere. The actor is now 19, the same age as Ellie in the second game. During a press conference attended by Total Film, Mazin said that we know what we're going to do in terms of costume and makeup and hair, but more importantly, we also know the soul and spirit of the actor, and it will be the show that Neil and I want to make, and we are making it with Bella. The only way we would ever consider recasting Bella if they said, I don't want to work with you guys anymore.
I'm glad that they confirm all of that. It seems like they really want to make sure that you're confident that they're not going anywhere.
Yeah, we're going to consistently get, like, even with the current casting, we actually will get into that in a minute. Yeah. No, you're not going to make all the gamers happy. Actually, I don't even think you probably will never make any gamer happy. I'm just kidding. There's a few of us that are happy out there. But definitely there's an audience out there that's been very critical of Bella's performance or portrayal as Ellie. But I trust them. I enjoyed the first season. I just needed more episodes with Joel and Ellie, if that makes sense. We spend so much time with them in the game, so I could tell where that's a little challenging to be able to tell a whole character's personality only in, less. I can't compare the time we watch the show versus the time we spend in the game.
Yeah,
is different. That time's different.
It is.
So
yeah,
but I trust them. I'm excited.
Yeah.
That's all the deets I was able. Luckily, Lauren Milisi, however you said it was probably right. Was able to recap a lot of details for us, so I just wanted to share this here.
I think that there was some of that I hadn't actually seen yet, so I'm really glad that you got that. I think that we'll get. I'm manifesting a good balance of new content, like new Easter eggs for the fans, and maybe some more content that we've been asking for, in balance with telling the story that I know that they're very proud of. So especially from, like, we'll get into it later, but like from some of like the devlogs and like the lost levels, I really enjoyed those. So do we want to go ahead and hop into casting?
Let's do it.
Exciting. Me and Jerica were talking about this.
I think both everybody, yeah, they were doing it at the same time. So because filming starts next month, so I was expecting them to make a casting announcement, because before long it's about to get spoiled. Because if it's similar to when they started filming last year, a lot of people are showing up on site. There's fans like me and you in Canada or wherever they're filming, showing up and trying to get footage, and we're gonna be able to see, like, it's gonna get spoiled. So I was expecting them to announce this soon. So it dropped last week. I'm actually gonna pull up. Okay, so they're gonna nail it. She's gonna nail it. She's gonna do a really good job. I've seen a lot of shows. Yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff with her in it. Most recently, no one. What's the name of the movie that we just watched with the aliens? Caitlin. No one's gonna save you. Oh God, I just forgot. No one here will save you. And of course, throughout the whole movie, basically, you're thinking, oh my God, they should have been Ellie. Like, they could be Ellie. But, I mean, the actress is too old. A little bit older. Needs to be a little bit younger. But, the world's like, she should have been Ellie. She shouldn't be Abby. But now the world's like, oh, she can't be Abby. She don't have big muscles. She has time to bulk up. So what I'm doing right now is actually pulling up Abby concept art for the internet to see, just so people are aware, and I'm trying to get it moved over. So let me scroll over here. I don't know how to scroll on the internet. Will it let me move it? What is this? Hold on. Okay, I should just brought the book down here. I think we got this. Anyways, Abby's original design, she's not super bulky. I could hear some frustrations with that, because, part of the reason her character is just like so ripped is because they've spent their whole life like getting ready to, go after somebody that's wronged her. So, and has put everything into building her body up to be able to do that. Well, we'll get to this in a minute when I'll find this tweet here. But someone tweeted out, because we'll get to all the casting here in a second, but literally someone was like, well, there's probably good reasons for all the casting, obviously, because of what they can do, but also, for, I think all the main ladies in the show are under 5'3". So, short girls rise. Huh? Oh, they haven't been able to hear you the whole time then. Oh no. Well, you definitely got to hear my commentary, so I hope I hope it made sense without hearing Kayla, at least some of it. Kayla was bringing up great points. She's talking shit over here. You should hear her chat. Like, she's really mean to y'all. She's like, we should never, ever stream live because CC is lame. He's so lame. I'm trying to get her to stop talking. Kayla, stop. I'm about to add you in, so you better be on your best behavior. Okay, I think you're back.
Hi, can you hear me? Game over Trilla said, as per usual.
You know. All right, we're back here. Where were we? Oh, we're talking about everyone's short in the show.
Yes. Yeah.
I think I'm taller than everybody. All the ladies, anyways, which is pretty cool because I'm 5'3", 5'4" on a good day. Maybe 5'4.5" if my posture is perfect.
Mm-hmm. Also, really quick recap for chat. All I really said, my thoughts were, I think that Caitlin Dever is a good pick. I watched her in Unbelievable, and she does a really good job of that show's really good. It's on Netflix. It's a hard watch if you're not in a good mental space.
She's got a lot of range. She could do, a lot of action, cutthroat scenes, but also play someone like super sweet. But she does really good in a situation where her character is feeling pain. So this should be a great ride. This should be perfect.
Hey.
Pain, scared, having to fight, be scrappy. Yeah, this should be a good one to watch. If you didn't know this, so Kayla, you played Uncharted, right?
I have, yes.
Did you play Uncharted 4, like the last game?
No, I didn't play that one.
That's okay. Do you care for a minor spoiler, everybody?
No.
Well, if you don't want to, if you want, this game came out years ago, so you've been warned. The end of Uncharted, you get to see the child of Nathan Drake, and I forget his lady friend. They have a girl. Also forgot her name, but she is voiced by Caitlin. So.
Oh, okay. So she has done some video game related-esque things.
I don't know how close this came to fruition, but it's something like she's pretty close knit with Naughty Dog and like their projects and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there has been talks surrounding season 1 and season 2 for her to be a part of it in some form or fashion.
Yeah.
So.
Maybe they're just trying to find the right fit for her.
Yeah, and I'm sure that was the go-to Ellie at one point, but this time progresses. Time is time. Time's going to be timing.
Time.
And it passes, and then things happen, and then there's a Last of Us show.
And then let's go season 2 closer than we know.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm done rambling now. So what other thoughts do you have about the Abby casting?
For me, again, I mentioned this earlier before Jerica silenced me.
Sorry, I didn't do it. It was on accident.
No, I just think like to me, as we go through these character castings, like I don't necessarily attribute like whether it's a good pick to how much they look like the character. I think it's cool if they do, obviously. Like it makes it easier for the team to like, kind of adjust. But to me, like the way the characters are written is what is most important. And so like being able to portray like how that character was written and like just do a good job acting is what I think is the most important.
She might be able to get ripped in a few months, They might be able to film all of her scenes later.
I do think it's interesting. This is a much deeper dive conversation, so that we don't have to get into that. But like even when the game came out, like the kind of discourse around the way that Abby looks, like she's either too buff, now she's not buff enough.
I know.
Like there's so much, and I'm just like, do we have these kind of questions about like men when they're not really.
No, I mean, I don't know how people would feel though if Joel showed up with like a beer belly, but
yeah, that's true.
You're right. If he was like a little bit, not as, I don't know, if he was too young or I don't know, I don't know. Maybe if he was like 30 or something, people might be upset. I don't know.
Yeah.
But hey,
I would preach in the chat.
I say I would have been fine if Joel had a beer belly. I would have been fine.
Yeah. Exactly. Who cares?
They would have taken away for a little bit from the character though, just a smidge. Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe not in part 2. That might be fitting. But next we have drum roll.
I'm sliding down.
It's delayed on my end because I'm watching it.
Okay.
We have Isabella Merced.
Yeah. Which apparently very popular person right now.
I didn't know this either.
Yeah, a lot of movies. Been in a lot of things, and a lot of stuff happening soon, including The Last of Us season 2.
And it does say she was in the Dora movie, if you saw that.
Did you see that?
No.
Me neither.
No, I didn't.
I mean, I just sort of forgot that that happened too. They make everything live action these days. Everything's
They
getting
really
turned
do.
into live action.
She was also in a Transformers movie, so she's done some like action stuff. I have not seen this particular one. What's funny is her character in Transformers' name is Isabella, and her name is really Isabella, so that's interesting.
Are you gonna see Madame Web? Audrey always makes fun of me because I say Madame. Madame Web.
It looks interesting.
Audrey says it's
like,
Madame Web. Is it? Is it?
Madame sounds a lot more dramatic.
Kayla says Madame sounds more dramatic. She's like, okay, whatever. Madame Web.
Cece also said, not to mention how grown men were commenting that Bella wasn't attractive enough to play a 14-year-old.
You know, it's the internet, and there's a lot of gamers with opinions. So, you know how that's gonna go.
Of course, yeah. So yeah, this I don't know a lot about her. Have you seen anything with her in it?
Just Madame Web, the trailer, talking about the spiders. Mom died researching spiders. Have you seen that? Those memes?
I haven't.
Have you watched the trailer for Madame Web? Kayla, what the heck? You need to ask Hunter what he thinks about that movie. I'm interested.
Is that superhero?
Yes, it's in. Aren't they spider ladies, Audrey? Audrey says yes. They are spider ladies.
Okay. I've missed this. I don't know where I've been.
It's one of those Sony Marvel movies.
Wow,
you know, those like Venom and did Craven ever come out? Did that actually come out?
No, I don't think so. If it did, it major flop because I didn't even notice it came out.
Anyways, yeah, it's one of those movies. You need to watch the like immediately after we do this. Go watch the trailer. You'll know what I mean. It has got the lady from 50 Shades of Grey in it.
Oh,
yeah, she's
wow.
in it. Yeah, she's in it. And so that other lady.
August 30th.
Okay, we should go see that together.
We should.
I want to hear Hunter's impressions.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. But yeah, one of the main ladies in Madame Web.
Okay.
She's. Did we say she plays Dina? She's gonna be playing Dina in the last.
Oh yeah, we didn't even say it. If you're listening to the audio, you're probably like, "What is going on?" We have visuals if you want to watch YouTube instead.
Apparently, in another DC movie, is it Hot Girl?
Is it?
Yeah.
Is she in that?
Yeah, she's played. I think that's who she's played.
What?
A lot of things happening.
Oh my gosh! No way. That's crazy. I'm looking at her IMDb, and one of these still shots from Cesario that she plays, that looks really good. I can definitely see Dina in that.
I want to watch that. I want to watch it.
I'm interested. It definitely seems like she's up and coming. And so, I mean, it seems like she's not already well established, but somebody that like isn't necessarily as mainstream. So I love that they're doing that. And it says here that she's 22, so you know that kind of fits as well. But let us know in the chat how you guys feel. I think this will be a good pick. I think Dina is a very important character, so hopefully she can pull off what needs to be done with her character.
Yeah, can't wait.
Then, speaking of important characters,
one of my favorite castings here. Real proud of this one. This is gonna be dope.
My boy, young Mazzino as Jesse. Ooh.
Also, this dude hasn't been in a lot of stuff either.
Yeah.
Up and coming. Mostly, you'll know him from Beef. It did an incredible job in Beef. Beef was a great show. If you haven't watched it, oh god, it's so good. It's a little intense, and it'd be a little painful to be like awkward to watch. You're like,
I do like that,
oh god, yeah, it's a good ride.
I like a good uncomfy show.
Well, you'll find it in Beef. It's a good show. That was a ride.
And then it also shows he was in Blind Spot. I have not watched that, but
I never seen it.
Never seen it. But yeah, so that I think that those are the only three that we have. Obviously, there's more characters that are being introduced in this season that are not officially like released yet, right? Yeah. Because I think that's the only that we got, which is the three major ones I would say. But I'm curious who like Lev and what's Yara? Lev and Yara are gonna be. there's a lot of other things, and I guess maybe we won't get them until a little bit later on, probably when filming actually
We
starts.
might not even get to them this season, you know?
Yeah, that's
Just
true. Maybe that's why
yeah.
we're not getting their casting.
If we don't get their
That's a good
casting, then
point.
we'll probably know how far it goes. You
That's
know?
actually a really good point.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. That might tell us a lot, actually.
Because I don't think.
So we'll see.
Well, I don't know. Like you could. Maybe they're not. I don't know. Like I just wonder what they're not revealing. Like I mean, revealing Abby was a pretty bold move because you might just go and Google like who's Abby in The Last of Us, and then quickly
Yeah,
find
that
out
also
the
could.
answer. So they're not going to
Yeah.
be hurting by saying who's being casted. So I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's really all the commentary I have. I think it's interesting. Hot take in the chat. Game Over Trailer said he did not like him in Beef. Um, maybe he does better in this one, in your eyes. Okay.
I don't know if
So
it did like his character and the actor. I don't know portrayal of that character, but I enjoyed him in the show. I thought when I saw him acting, I was like, because all in my head, like watching shows throughout the year, I've been like, they could play so and so in The Last of Us. They can play this so and so in The Last of Us
that's
season 2.
me.
I've been like that the whole time. And when I saw him,
Yeah.
just
Oh, you hated his character. He acted great.
oh
Okay,
yeah,
I
okay.
thought you meant like you didn't like the acting.
I mean, there wasn't really anybody in that show that you could really like, so there's gonna. I can't wait for you to watch it, Kayla, so you can see.
Okay. I'm scared.
Shoot, I didn't know if maybe he's been in something else and he's a horrible actor. I don't know. Like Beef is the only thing I've seen him in, and I was like,
Yeah.
he can he's got some skill.
Well, this has made me very much like re-excited and like anxious for whenever this does come out. But we should talk about our first impressions with the game. I know we talked about we don't have a ton to say necessarily because we did both all complete all of the lost levels though. So
We both
they
did
did
that.
add. Do you want to? Can you help explain the lost levels? You explained this to me the other day, like what they are.
Yes, I would love to. So in Last of Us Part 1, or Part 2 remaster, should have actually been called. Like I was giving PlayStation a lot of grief the last couple of years with their director's cuts, and I'm like, just call it. You don't have to call it a director's cut. Just call it DLC or something, or like new. I don't know. I don't know. The PS5 version, whatever. Anyways,
Yeah.
this one should have been called a director's cut because it truly is a director's cut of the game.
It really is,
because
literally.
Lost Levels, that is what they are, and I've never experienced that in any game I've played where you were able to
So
play unfinished levels with commentary, which is really cool. And they set up the level in a way where it's almost like a museum, and
Yeah.
you go to the level. So I'll share one of the levels was like outside of the church in Jackson before Ellie goes and meets Dina at the dance.
I have things to say about this one.
And
A lot.
there's like little talking bubbles that you'll see in as soon as you go into the level. And even before each level, like Neil shows up on camera saying, "Hey, this is months from being done. This is what the team was trying to do here. This is what we did. This is why we cut it." And just a lot of it had to do with like pacing issues and making sense for the overall story. But he is a disclaimer. You hop into the level, and you're playing as Ellie in all 3 levels. But you walk up to these little bubbles, and it'll give you like 1 out of 7 to let you know there's 7 of these things that you can go to, and it will tell you about what you're looking at or what you're seeing. Literally, like I've done a little bit of the Assassin's Creed where it's like a museum, the museum like gameplay that you get, the museum mode that you can play, where you can go in and like read about actually like ancient Egypt and stuff. It's sort of like that where you can go and like click on something that's going to tell you about what you're looking at or why something works the way it does. Cool. It is amazing. It is so, yeah. And like specifically in this level, you go up to some kids that are pretending to be clickers, and they're playing like hide and seek, but one of them has to like keep their eyes closed because they're a clicker and they're blind. So you see all these little kids running about, and it was cool because in this little section, the commentators telling you like this was gonna be where we set up like the tutorial, the introduction, but we ended up moving this mechanic to the snowball fight at the beginning of part 2.
Yeah.
So
I love how detailed they get with stuff like that. I thought that was so interesting.
yeah,
Like I loved it.
It was just cool to see like the peek behind the curtain, so to speak, and learn why certain choices are made in games and the decisions they make. For people, you know, even for me, like I'm in tune with some of this stuff. Even for me, I'm like, well, that makes sense. Like as the player, where do my eyes go? What am I thinking? When I turn around, am I going to go back and look at that object? Like, it just takes a lot of playtesting and making sure that players can get where they need to go and they see certain things. They interact and learn certain things from different parts of the level. So you get to see a lot of that in the lost levels.
Yeah. What was your favorite one? Jackson Party, Seattle Sewers, or The Hunt?
The sewers was fun to play through because I was like, oh, I sort of enjoyed this. This was a fun little.
Yeah.
It was a cool way for them to try to make puzzles out of water systems, which I thought was neat.
Yeah.
But definitely my favorite was the boar hunt, just because of what it was my favorite because I'm like, man, I wish they would have kept that in the game. So I think that I'll let you guys play it. But there's definitely a segment where you'll get why it was cut, but also thought, oh, that would have been a nice transition into the farm scene. You know,
yes,
like that
it would have.
That would have been pretty dope because they start out like thinking you don't know how much time's passed, you don't know where Ellie's at, and I'm like, that would have been really cool.
Yeah, I like that they talk about that too. Again, like y'all should definitely play them yourselves.
It was sad. You know, like I didn't realize
it was
like
very sad.
They both of them had a really sad part, and I was just like, that didn't make sense there, and that was shocking. But the boar hunt was definitely that made me sad. It was sad.
I think that my favorite one. So here's the thing, really quick: the Jackson Party, Jerica. Did you see the cameo? It's the trailer for the Last of Us farming sim. Jerica?
You're right. I didn't sort of that's the whole level. That's all we need. We could have.
You're just hanging out in town.
Just hanging out in town, collecting my crops, maybe going to the trader, trying to make a deal.
Yeah, playing some carnival games while you're waiting around, like while you're going to your town. I could just, because we joked around. This is a running joke that I think that there should be a Last of Us farming sim and like survival. Playing Pal World has also made me really like be like, okay, this would be so cool. Like in Jackson, you would be there. You're about to walk into the church. Like I thought that was cool. It showed a lot of like little different things. I liked the like stories behind each choice in that one, but I think my favorite was the sewers.
Oh yeah, CC said DTF. Yes, down to farm.
Down to farm. Yes. Man, always down to farm. So the Seattle sewers one I really liked. I feel like I'm not very in tune with the game like development world. Like that's not something I've like ever really been a part of in any space besides playing them.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was really cool listening to, and I like that the I don't know who was speaking, what their relation was, like maybe they were the writers of the scenes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. So I thought that was cool getting to hear from them. Like,
yeah, it wasn't Neil. It wasn't Neil talking in each of these levels. It was three different people leads on this certain level. Like I remember in the boar hunt, like the lady was like, "Yeah, I worked months on this, or took our team so long to do this." Yeah.
It's kind of crazy to think about how long it takes to do like each one thing. Like, so I hope that they got to work on other stuff since those got cut.
And like even Neil saying like these levels, like to us, they didn't look horrible, which was the thing. But he was saying these are months and months away from being done. And that's
why I thought that was funny.
I was like, well, it looks fine. It doesn't look great, I know, but it wasn't like, I hear a level that's months and months and months away. I think of just like cubes and bright blue spheres and arrows and all the things that 3D animators use. Those arrows, know, and those circles, those and everybody corners. In T pose. That's all I think of.
thought too, like when he was like prefacing the first one, I was like, oh, so this is gonna be like crap. Like this ain't gonna look good at all. But no, I thought it looked really good. Like obviously, like it made sense. Like him, I think it was good that he explained that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I thought the sewers was really cool. I really like the scene where, like, there's cutscenes in some of these.
Yeah.
Like I like the cutscene in the sewer where the clicker, you know,
Yeah.
that scene.
That was just like, well, Jesus Christ. Joel.
Yeah,
Jesus
and
Christ, Joel.
it looked so cool. And so I liked how they explained in that one too, how almost like Ellie's like hitbox was like too big to where she couldn't
Couldn't
even
get,
like crawl.
yeah.
Like
It
it was
was
hitbox was not the word; it was something else. I don't
I know
remember
what you
what it
yeah,
was.
like field of view or, you know, something about the view. Like getting around
Yeah,
those tight corners, it was hard to manipulate the camera.
right. Yeah.
So,
So yeah, I thought that was, you know, that's really all of my commentary. I thought it was all really well done. I think it's cool that they feed the fans, you know.
yeah.
They give us what we want. I could have done I do wish there was a couple more. Like I think like there was only 3, but it would have been cool to have a couple more, but they didn't really, I mean, have to do any of it. So,
Yeah,
but
I didn't expect that. So, it was a nice little addition. I don't know. I'd
yeah.
like to see more devs like share that kind of stuff later on. You know, the game's also still like Last of Us is always going to get hate. People still sort of complaining about a remaster coming out from a game from like 3 years ago now. Almost 4 years. It'll
Yeah.
be 4 years in June, and I think it's fine. Like there are some technical like performance upgrades. Obviously, for the PS5, it's been built for that, or upgraded for that. There's the DualSense of features you have now in the game. And on top of that, like, I don't know, like just having the extra commentary, the extra behind the scenes stuff, like really adds to the experience for someone that has probably owns the game already. $10
Yeah.
is totally worth this experience.
Yeah,
And
especially the no return, which we didn't even get into that.
and honestly, if you have never played and you're having to pay full price for this, you could probably don't have to get this version if you don't want all the
Yeah.
extra stuff. And but you know, small technical upgrade, you're gonna get that. But I think the $10 is definitely worth all like the director's cut extras we got. I am also
Yeah.
enjoying just the commentary, like playing the game with the commentary on. I'll probably either see if someone uploads it to YouTube, like all the cutscene commentary, with like Neil, Laura Bailey's in there talking about Abby, Ashley, Troy, all of them are in there in the scenes, like talking about the scene they're watching. And
Mhm.
I listened to commentary at I'll give it a little. You might listen to this, you might later, but I thought it was a cool little tidbit from the commentary. This is an example. There is the scene near at the beginning of part 2 where Joel and Ellie are in the room and Joel's coming in there to give her the guitar. You know, like it's
Mhm.
so awkward between the characters. So
Yeah.
hearing them talk about the tension between the characters is interesting, especially
Yeah.
the writer, both Neil and Haley, that's her name. She's talking about too, like writing. She's like the narrative lead. I feel like that's her title. You know, she's one of them. But they're
Yeah.
just talking about this scene, how it plays out, and then Troy's like talking about Joel and like they didn't tell him the moment he was filming, like doing motion capture for this scene, but later on they just wanted him to know like there's been a lot of very difficult things Naughty Dog has technically had to make happen, like with whether it's modeling or just making games. It's hard, but segments in games
Mhm.
can be really hard to make. Specifically, one of the hardest things they've ever done apparently is the photo booth in the Left Behind
Oh.
DLC. That apparently was really difficult for them to make. Um,
Wow.
I can't remember the reason why, but they told Troy, like, hey, we've done some really tough things here. But the moment you put this was after they filmed, obviously, and got what they needed. The moment you put your thumb in your pocket or in your belt loop, because in that scene, you'll go back and see that Joel puts his finger in his belt or in his pocket. They told Troy, like, man, you almost murdered us. That was the toughest thing we ever had to like animate or make happen. Because he did that in motion capture because he was just talking and he puts his finger in his pocket, because he did that, or his thumb, they had to make sure that Joel's shirt was completely tucked in the scene.
Oh,
That's why his
yeah.
shirt's tucked in. And getting his finger to go in there, like getting that rigged up, or I don't know the terms, I don't make games, but getting that to work right was apparently very difficult. And something that
Wow.
wasn't planned. So
I'm surprised they didn't make him just like reshoot
they
that
didn't. They
part.
said it was perfect. I guess the way he
Oh,
delivered it
yeah.
was just so perfect. They didn't want to
Want to
do it
redo it.
again.
Yeah.
So they just made it
Wow, that's
work.
very
And they
interesting.
talked about for the whole scene too. Like they scanned all the clothes for that scene. Like those were like the clothes were scanned for that scene only. And like
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of stuff like even as I'm even playing the game just again, and there's stuff I'm sort of picking up on or thinking about that I didn't in my first playthrough, and then with the commentary, you learn new facts about if you're just interested in how production of the
Yeah.
game is made. I'm so excited for the documentary, which I thought came out the same day as the game. It really alluded to that. The Grounded 2, which is the making of The Last of Us Part 2. Hopefully that comes out soon.
Yeah.
But I really want to see those scenes that are quite gut wrenching. Like I want to see the actors do that in motion capture. It'd be really cool.
Yeah. One of my favorite things is like seeing like going back and looking at like table reads of like for shows. Like some of the like have you ever watched the table read of like the last episode of Game of Thrones?
No, but
Like
I should. Yeah, I'd like. Yeah,
yeah. So that kind of gives me the same vibe as like watching this with commentary. I haven't started that process yet, but I definitely want to because I want to replay the game also just anyway.
Oh,
Um
that reminds me one other thing. From just that first cutscene, they talked about, you talking about table reads. Maybe think of this. They did, um, a pretty much a live. Um, it was called opening or one night live. Jeff Keighley actually put it on, but they had all the actors from The Last of Us come in and act out all the cutscenes live on a stage. And the scene where he is giving Ellie the guitar was actually they filmed he or Neil's had that whole scene. They've acted it out before, years before this even came out.
that's really cool.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
They showed that. That's also something you learn, like listening to the commentary.
Yeah. And then we didn't even talk about which me and Jericho haven't really dove into this. I would love to stream this some or do something with this. Like the whole other mode that they released with this, No Return, which is their like horde mode, like dungeon
That's what I
kind
haven't
of
even touched
thing.
yet, so
I played a couple rounds. It's difficult. I think that like, our friends at Spotlight Games stream some if you wanted to go watch their stream. Oh, bye CC. See you next time. Bye. We're almost done. We're about to wrap up here in a second, but I played a couple rounds and I forgot how to play this game. So
yeah, I did too. I hopped
um
back in and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to
it's
practice."
it's definitely a lot of what you get in the game itself, like resource management, having to like imagine that, but like literally the mode is like survival mode. But it's really cool. There's a lot of like there's opportunities for progression. You can upgrade like certain your weapons in each game, and you also can play as a bunch of different characters. And you have to unlock characters. There's special like rewards you can get. You can play as a lot of people. So Ellie, Dina, Jesse, Tommy, Joel, Abby, Lev, Yara, Mel, and Manny. You
That's a
can play
lot of
as all of
characters.
those.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they start out like all locked. You can only play as like Abby and Ellie at first,
Okay.
and then as you progress, you can unlock more characters. I think different characters can do like a little bit different things,
Mhm.
so that's kind of cool too. But yeah, so far so good. I haven't gotten to play much, but that's my
I'm gonna
just overall
hopefully
impression.
stream a little bit of gameplay, but I was telling Kayla because Kayla was like, "You gonna stream it?" I was like, "No, I need to play a little bit. I just need to play it normal, like play the game a little bit so I can get warmed up." One does
Yeah.
not simply just pick up The Last of Us and become great at it. It does
Yeah.
take a little. You gotta get your training wheels, keep those on for a little bit, because like
Greased.
the way you play that game is really different than a lot of other third-person games.
Yeah.
It
100%.
takes a little bit of gotta get that muscle memory back.
Oh my gosh, Game Over Cholo flexing on us. I've
Oh
unlocked all
my
characters and beat
god.
4 bosses. I'm missing 2, and it's a challenge. So yeah, there's
Jeez.
bosses.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
that's
want to play
awesome.
catch up
Wow.
now. I gotta quit playing Destiny and Pal World and play Last of Us.
It seems like there's like almost a little bit of a grind to it too, because like there are bosses and there are like different like levels. You can also change the difficulty. There's like several different difficulty options. I think I tried it on like moderate, like the normal one. So
Okay, good to
thanks
know.
for flexing on us in the chat. Game over Cholo. Love that. But yeah, that's all my overall thoughts. Did you have anything else you wanted to add, Jerica?
Nah,
There's a lot.
I think this was a good little hey, let's revisit The Last of Us because we have news. So we'll probably wait
Man,
again until we get if we get something else big where we need to chat
yeah,
about. There's not going to be as many of these as there, we like to have a ClickerBait episode when there's enough news to chat about, whether it is game or TV show related.
yeah. It just so happened we had both this time.
We
We
had
had
both this time,
some
worked out.
show and game stuff. So
I was like, it'll make it worth it doing a ClickerBait episode. We got enough to chat about this time, so
we can always ramble about The Last of Us. You know us. We always need an excuse to do it.
yep,
So
we need it.
thank you guys for joining us. If you guys are still here in the chat, we appreciate it. Thank you for sticking through our technical difficulties.
Yes, thank you.
And we,